34-time convicted felon Donald Trump's attempts to market himself as a law and order president might be funny if his base wasn't a cult.
He has been facing more resistance than anyone who has ever run for office in American history. And the mainstream media is part of that. But also, as you mentioned, we have judges in our judicial branch who are acting as activists, not real arbiters of the law. And there has been 15 injunctions in 1 month of President Trump's agenda. The Biden White House only faced 13 injunctions in the entirety of his presidency. And so clearly there are left-wing activists who sit behind a bench in a courthouse who don't like this president and his policies. But the fact is, everything President Trump is doing is within his executive authority to do it. He is acting within the bounds of the law. All of his actions are constitutional, and our White House and the entire administration are prepared to fight back against this resistance. Don't bet against President Trump. I think his epic return to the Oval Office proves that he is going to win against the weaponization of our justice system.
And if I could ask a question about the judge as well. How does a president define a bad judge? Is it just someone who disagrees with him? And is that a dangerous precedent in this case? Because this is a temporary ruling from Judge Boasberg that he could ultimately rule in your favor. Is he setting up a standard here for calling for the impeachment of a judge who may ultimately rule on your side?
No, it has nothing to do with disagreeing with the president on policy. It's with disagreeing with the Constitution and the law. And it's trying to usurp the authority of the executive branch of this country. It's having baseless reasoning for these injunctions. And it's a clear effort by these judges to slow roll this president's agenda.
This gets us to maybe the fundamental contradiction at the heart of the MAGA movement, which is it is a movement that absolutely cloaks itself in constitutional rhetoric and almost fetishizes, how many of the guys, I got the Constitution here, they wrap their buses in "we the people." But it is, if anything, it's better with it's anti-federalist. It's more Articles of Confederation. It doesn't appear to be in any way have any fealty to constitutional principles of free speech, checks and balances, any of those things.
Yeah, I would humbly suggest if your devotion to the Constitution is largely manifested through a "We the People" tattoo and an affinity for the Gadsden flag, your understanding of Federalist principles is probably not as deep as you think it is.
You're saying they may not, in fact, be tread on? Is that what I'm hearing?
As somebody, I really do consider myself a philosophical and constitutional conservative.
Right.
But that requires a lot of thought and a lot of penetrating discussions about what words mean. And were the founders looking at Locke and Mill or Burke or what have you when they were coming up with these systems? It's not simply saying, I don't like what you're doing, therefore it's unconstitutional. You have to actually engage with these ideas on a regular basis in a way that even makes you question your own beliefs, or the project has no intellectual integrity. And when I was coming of intellectual age in college and law school, the conservative movement, I think, was very into that. Your audience would probably disagree with a lot of the conclusions we came to, but there was an honest rigor of thought that is totally lacking in the MAGA.
Well, because I think what they've done is they've sort of ceded any kind of that rigor to the emotional kind of impulse of one individual.
Yes.
That they believe stands above kind of all of it. And they've even, I think, infused him with a sort of religious fervor.
Mike Johnson is an insurrectionist member of Congress who was, one of the architects of, the justification for the attempt to overturn a free and fair election. He now just so happens to be the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House. But again, not unexpected at all. And, I find it rich that he would say that there was some type of narrative put the first select committee's investigation, given the fact that the vast majority of the witnesses that were put forth were actually members of Trump's own administration and other Republican officials who weren't going to stand by and watch the administration steal an election.
There's a great esprit de corps in the room this morning because everybody knows what's at stake. All the things we've talked about here this morning, we are going to get this done. So this is a rare thing. I'm going to say hold the questions and let me go get back to work so we can finish this thing up, okay? Thanks for being here this morning. Thanks for being here this morning.
You can take the question. No, I'm good.
Mr. Smith, leadership, it's a requirement to take questions in this room, gentlemen. Law and order, come on.
Since Donald Trump took office, multiple top FBI officials and federal prosecutors who all worked on January 6 cases, they're out of a job. And now the DOJ wants names of those who worked on the Trump or January 6 investigations for possible firing. What do you make of this apparent cleansing?
I mean, you just called it what it is. It's a cleansing. I mean, listen, when Democrats got out there and we said that our democracy was really at risk, people were like, oh, Democrats, you're out there, you're gaslighting. It's not our democracy. Well, he did say he'd be a dictator on day one. Oh, Democrats, it's just Trump. He just talks. Well, let me tell you something. He is doing more than talking. We talked about Project 2025. We talked about the consolidation of power. We talked about how he wanted to be a king. We talked about in a democratic republic, that is not what it is. We have some sort of checks and balances, and he is doing everything that he can to get rid of those checks and balances. The DOJ and the people that he's going after were simply doing their jobs. The problem is that Americans thought that it was okay to take a full-fledged criminal and make him the president of the United States, and then they want to act aghast when he does criminal things. Let me tell you, we have a thug in charge of the United States, and if we don't wake up, we may not have a United States, because right now he has only been successful in being a divider in chief.
Republicans love to talk about law and order, but only for the people they actually want to punish. Rich folks dodging taxes, running shady deals, or seemingly even abusing children, they get a free pass. Meanwhile, regular people, especially poor folks, get policed to death for homelessness, petty property crime, or substance use. It's like the law exists to protect the powerful, not anyone else. They're not interested in justice, they're interested in controlling who gets punished, and spoiler alert, it's never themselves. If you enjoyed that, then make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming a member. So you're probably wondering, why would I do that? Well, when you do that, you get access to bonus content that I make every single week, and it's a lot of fun. You get custom emojis and more. If you join at tier 3, by the way, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself. And you'll get all that going forward, but you'll also unlock years of the back catalog that is literally 100 or more bonus clips and top 10 lists and debates and more. So what are you waiting for?